We are finally here. Man, that was more trouble than it should have been. What is going on, LBHT crew? B, what is going on?
Not a whole lot. I mean, obviously, Carolina's got to stand up for the little brother Baltimore again and get that get back in Philly this weekend. But other than that,
yes,
not
please
much.
do, because shout out to my friend Shag, man. He's been talking trash all day today, all day yesterday. I mean, nonstop. Okay, nothing would make my week better than for them to be humble just a little bit, only a little bit, because they still beat us. They still have that over us. But hey, shout out to the Eagles, man. The Eagles are a good team.
Yeah, sure.
You guys, even Eagles fans, aren't as high on Jalen Hurts as I am, apparently. But I think he's a good quarterback. But we know the team is really good. We found that out firsthand. All right, or we're just really bad. But we're going to talk about that some more. We're going to talk about what they need to focus on in the bye week, and of course the breaking news. Star wide receiver for the Ravens. Star Ravens wide receiver, because it doesn't take much to be a star in the Ravens wide receiver core, I guess. Ravens great Diontae Johnson suspended for conduct detrimental to the team. We already knew this, but they finally came out and acknowledged somewhat what happened. So we're going to discuss that. Coach Evans is going to be on to discuss it with us. We got our guy Adrian from Press Start 410 in the house. Okay, he's going to be talking Ravens with us as well. It is also Adrian's birthday. Happy birthday, Adrian.
Happy birthday,
I want you guys to show some love to Adrian in the chat. Tell him happy birthday in the chat. He'll be joining us as well. And we got 3 cases for a court of public opinion. 3 cases for a court of public opinion.
3 cases, and 3 pretty stupid ones.
Yes.
That's always fun.
So it should be a lot of fun. We have a lot to talk about, and I don't want to be here for 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I gave y'all 2 videos. We gave y'all 2 videos this week. Check them out. The Panthers one is trending upwards. Ravens one, get those numbers up. All right. We're going to be putting out some more content for y'all. Okay, we're following in the footsteps of Hendo. Not exactly like Hendo. Hendo's putting out a video every day, so go check out the Road Pod if you want daily content. He's putting out that hot fire every day. We're going to step up our production a little bit. Hendo's been getting on us about it. We're going to do the same. So you'll see some more little videos here and there from us, all right? But we're going to make this show a little shorter, okay? Because your boy's tired. I need to sleep, all right? All right, we're going to get things started. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History Fact. And B and Akole have a Black History Fact for you.
Welcome to this week's Black History Fact. Paul Rusesabagina was born on June 15th, 1954, in Murama, Rwanda. He became a well-known human rights activist and former hotel manager, famous for his brave actions during the 1994 Rwandan genocide. During this time, he sheltered 1,268 refugees at the Hotel des Mille Collines in Kigali, protecting them from the Interahamwe militia. Rusesabagina was one of 9 children, with a Hutu father and a Tutsi mother. Despite growing up in poverty, he excelled academically and learned several languages, including French and English. He attended Kenya Utali College and later worked in various positions before becoming the assistant general manager at the Hotel des Mille Collines. Heroic actions during the genocide. In 1994, during the Rwandan genocide, Rusesabagina used his position and resources to protect refugees. He negotiated with militia leaders and used the hotel's resources to provide shelter and safety. His heroic efforts were later depicted in the 2004 film Hotel Rwanda, where Don Cheadle portrayed him. After the genocide, Rusesabagina and his family fled to Tanzania and later settled in Belgium and the United States. He became a prominent critic of the Rwandan government and founded the Hotel Rwanda Rusesabagina Foundation in 2006, which supports peace, justice, and reconciliation in the Great Lakes region of Africa. In August 2020, Rusesabagina was arrested in Dubai and taken to Rwanda, where he faced charges of terrorism related to his association with the FLN, National Liberation Front. He was convicted in September 2021 and sentenced to 25 years in prison. The United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention declared his detention illegal and politically motivated. The Rwandan president commuted his sentence in 2023. Paul Rusesabagina's legacy is one of courage and humanitarianism, and his story continues to inspire people around the world.
All right, salute to the Black History Fact. What are you laughing at?
Well, no, I was laughing at Reg. Reg says here, I'm sorry, but his name is throwing me off because Reg is an adolescent. But I understand what you mean. I don't know why. I don't know why Okole just be changing pronunciations in the middle of everything. Like the more it says one word, it's just like I'm gonna try a different way. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, Okole, we gotta have some pre-production meetings with Okole just to make sure. Yeah. He goes off script sometimes. We can't help it. His pay ain't that great over here. I gotta admit. Okay. All right. I didn't give a shout out to the chat. Let's give a shout out to the chat. There's 50 people in here. That's what I'm talking about, man. It's cold outside. Ravens coming off a loss going into a bye, but you're still here rocking with us. We appreciate it. All right. So who we got in the chat? Keenan Ricketts was first. Says, oh, but D-Hop, Amari, and Devontae are expensive divas? Clearly, we love a cheap mess. Hold that thought, Keenan, because that's coming right up. Willie Seabon in the house says, what's good, fellas? Once again, a receiver lets you know how much it sucks to play the receiver position for the Ravens, and fans will still refuse to see it and side with this organization. Oh, you guys are so ready to talk about this. You are so ready.
Luckily for you. We're not going to talk about that right now because Coach is not here yet. Coach is going to be here in about 15 minutes. That's where we're going to dive into the Diontae Johnson talk.
Well, hold on. Let me read some comments. I'm sure Adrian wants to shed his thoughts on it too. So maybe we'll let Adrian come up and discuss early. Adrian, I really want you to hang out for the session when we talk about the bye week because I have some thoughts on this front office. But we'll get into all that. But Just Aloe says, what's up, LBHT crew? I hope you're all doing well. I misplaced my gloves. I blame Lamar. I think there's a law that says I have to. Yes. We got Omar Tillman in the house says Diontae is going to be out of the league real soon. What's up? Hey. Appreciate you coming through. Slim in the house says, what's up, fellas? Slicer 59 is, every time I see...
He's going through
it. What's going on? Every time I see these comments, man, like he feels really passionate about this. Says, under this nepotistic organization, this Ravens team will never, ever win a chip as currently constructed under Harbaugh and his goons. I always wonder, are you related to somebody on the team? Right? Because you have some more comments in here, right? I'm always curious who we're talking to, right? Because one time, we were talking to somebody's uncle, and I just said it straight up. As passionate as he was speaking, I said, "Look, if you're related to the player, just say so." And he said, "Yeah, I'm his uncle." Are you related to somebody on the team? Like, do you have something more? You have more at stake here, something more invested in the team than we know, because you are very passionate about this. Hey,
he said
props to you for being a fan, but
He said he is.
He is? Who are you related to, sir? Who are you related to? Is it Evil Lamar? He says, "What's up, y'all? What's up, Evil Lamar?" Final resolution says people act like receivers get a ton of opportunities in this offense. 7 years of the same lame ass excuses. Lamar always wants the home run. That's why they get punched when it really matters.
Well, I mean, you've got 4 games left, and Zay has 94 targets. It's not a matter of, this is just the way Baltimore is. If they want to throw more, they can throw more. They haven't had the talent to do it. When they got a talented receiver like Zay Flowers, like I said, he has 94 targets through 13 games. That's plenty of opportunity. They just need better players to justify doing that.
Yeah. I mean, all right. I guess we're here. I guess we're getting into some Ravens talk. Ferris has also joined. Okay, he's backstage as well. We got a full house today.
I don't know, like, what people are like. We have 3 spots. I'm not creating new scenes for y'all. All right, I've been very clear that we do not have scenes for 4 people, and then just people show up. And so, like, I don't know what's going
Ferris
on.
says he's here to hang. Ferris, you're not. Look, we're going to bring you up. All right, we'll stagger the segments. Ferris, definitely want you around for a court of public opinion. You want to hang out for a court of public opinion? He says yes. Okay. All right. So you'll see Ferris in court of public opinion. Coach is going to be here to discuss some Diontae Johnson. Adrian is going to be here to discuss some Ravens bye week. He can also give his opinion on Diontae Johnson as well. All right. We'll get a little organization here. Okay. It won't be complete chaos. All right. Tough Puppy is here. What's going on, Tough Puppy? What's goody? What's good with you, man? Glad to see you. YG says Goons is crazy. Oh man. Who else we got in here? A final resolution says Lamar is not the most accurate QB. Ball placement. Who's the most accurate QB? I think the numbers right now.
I've got a prediction that Final Resolution is not going to survive the entire show. But
he hasn't said anything disrespectful.
No, not yet. But it always starts out not disrespectful. He came in with an agenda, and he's posting 2 set agenda, and it's not related to anything that we're talking about. He's in here to bash Lamar, and the further that goes. I mean, I don't know if Vandy's even in the chat right now. But
I was about to pull up her chat. She says, real firsthand knowledge in the chat. Hashtag fire Harbum. Hashtag fire EDC. Well, I was going to ask Final Resolution, what does that have to do with Diontae Johnson not getting in the game?
You're on the radar, Final.
I was trying to distract. I was trying to kind of just throw her off the scent, but she's got you in her crosshairs. Yeah, we do not control the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. He says, not being disrespectful. Prefer this over Bobby Albany. Oh, hey. That's our friend. Oh, that's our friend. Okay. All right. We don't
control the chat. We're just putting the word out for you, letting you know.
Yeah.
Let me get that. Coach is looking for the link. Let me go ahead and get that sent over to him.
All right, Coach will be here shortly, and we already started talking about it. Okay, you guys warmed up to it, but I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna post this visual here because I took time to load it up, and that's just what it is. All right, you gotta look at it. There it is. There's the guy, Diontae Johnson. Okay, the bad attitude, the guy that's keeping the locker room down. The real reason why the Ravens lost to the Eagles, because it's his bad attitude and refusal to play on Sunday. This is from Adam Schefter, ESPN sources. Ravens are suspending wide receiver Diontae Johnson for 1 game for conduct detrimental to the team. Now, because the Ravens they're bad at lying and bad at keeping secrets. We already knew that Diontae Johnson didn't want to go in the game, right? Rashad Bateman got hurt. They said, all right, Diontae, you up. And he said, "Oh, now you want me? No, I'm not going to play." And we have there's two sides you can break this down with, right? We'll start from the organizational side, just football side in general. Why Diontae Johnson is wrong. You cannot refuse to go in the game, bro. You're especially when you're in a contract year and you're trying to get the biggest contract you possibly can. I understand being frustrated that a team traded for you that has no intentions of using you, but man, get in the game. Show out, right? Like that doesn't help your chances. Like, okay, you don't want to be on the team. Clearly, you want to be cut. Maybe you had that conversation. Hey, can you just release me if you're not going to use me? No. Okay, well then I'm going to force my way out. I'm not going to play. That's not going to help you get a better contract this offseason. Now, granted, I don't think he's going to get blackballed, right? But that does not help your situation in terms of getting the contract. This is a good old boy system. These coaches talk to each other. And when stuff like that happens, they don't want to give you looks. You know when Harbaugh got here, they were talking about how when T.O. was looking for another team, they're like, he's never going to come here because he was on that staff when T.O. was with the Eagles, and he was never going to bring T.O. over here. Right? Like
that's a little bit different. That was firsthand knowledge. He was there when Terrell Owens was beating down Hugh Douglas and whatnot. That's a little bit different. I don't think Diontae was putting hands on any of your defensive linemen and laying them out. But we do have Coach Evans in the building. We want to go ahead and bring him up real quick to give his opinion on Diontae.
Coach, what's going on?
How you doing? Thanks for joining.
What up? How y'all doing?
Doing all right, man. Great. Doing all right. You know, we just had these conversations on Monday on your channel, okay, for the Ravens Roundup. We kind of speculated that, something was going on with Diontae. Weren't 100% sure what it is, but they pretty much confirmed that, yeah, they suspended him because of his attitude. So, how do you feel about that?
When I initially saw that he was suspended, my first thoughts went to, why he was suspended. And they said why he was suspended. My first thought was, when did it occur? Mm-hmm. That was the first thing that came to my mind. And so I just kept throwing tweets out there, win. So this guy that kind of covers them said that he got upset after Bateman got hurt, and they put Wallace in that role rather than leave Wallace in his role and put Bateman in. So when they wanted him to get in, was like right around the garbage time touchdown. And at that point, should have went in? Yes. But am I mad about it? No. Because it's like Britt B, you said it all the time. Play your best players.
Yes.
Why is this man sitting on the sideline?
Shout out to 86 Ghost for a $32 donation. Go ahead and finish your talk, Coach, and B will put up a comment.
When Bateman got hurt, he's the second best receiver on the team when Bateman got hurt. But he's not playing.
He's the second best receiver on the team when Bateman's healthy too. But and I think, and not to cut you off, Coach, but I feel like he could understand the first few weeks not being there because he just got there getting acclimated and whatnot. And then like you said, when Bateman goes down, there's no other choice but to put him in, right? At least that's the way he sees it.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah, that's the way I see it too. But I mean, John don't see it that way.
Man, y'all know I try to not like straight up bash upper level. Y'all been around me for a couple of years. Y'all know that.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm sick of these.
Before you say something you can't take back, thank you, Baza, for the donation. He said Diontae ready to throw up that trade deuce.
Hey, and thank you for the trade deuce donation. Appreciate that. I guess I should say our super chats are open. But if you want to make a large donation like Bazel did, the best way to do that is hit up our Cash App, $ LBHT Show, or that pin link that you see in the chat box works just like better than a super chat. All right. You click that link, leave your donation, leave your comment, and you get a nice little animation on the screen, and we'll read your comment that way. Yes. So that's the other side of it, right? Like, yes, I think it's bad for Diontae Johnson in a contract year to pull something like that. But totally understand where he's coming from, right? Because of that same reason.
My livelihood on the line, and you playing with it.
He's 28 years old. This is probably his last chance to get a big contract, right?
Or maybe to get a contract, period. Forget big.
Yes. But in me and B just held the belief that he's just a better wide receiver than our wide receivers at this point, right? He's been more productive, no question about that. And he's looking at it like, I'm not just some guy off the street. Like, I have actual skill. Yes, a couple weeks to get acclimated, then it's time to put me out there. Otherwise, why did you trade for me? There's other teams out there that would have picked me up and utilized me. Why did you bring me in? You could have gotten anybody to do that.
You could have got Mingo to do that.
Yes. Yes.
Man, listen, he was available. We would have done a package deal for you.
So I could definitely understand why he's upset. Why are you wasting everybody's time?
Yeah. Eric in the chat says, because he fell on his face twice and stayed in bounds late, Lamar is visually pissed off. To be fair,
Dave Flowers should have blocked for him.
To be fair, he got tripped by the defense on one of those. He didn't just fall over. He fell down once. He got tripped once, and Lamar missed him badly on a couple of those passes.
Yeah,
because I mentioned the other day about all three phases of the Ravens fandom is in unison to something needs to be done about Harbaugh. That statement bit me in the butt today because we are divided once again. We are divided once again. And if when Bateman got hurt and they was like, Diontae, you up? And he said, no, I'm going to get in. Suspend him for the year. Cut it.
Yeah.
But that's why I said timing mattered to me. Not just the fact that he didn't go in, which, that's the best of thing anyway. But the timing mattered to me. And the fact that they wanted him to go in at the very last minute because we was down 2 scores with like 2 minutes left. Oh, now you want to play me?
Yeah. That I agree with you, Coach. And you're right. Timing does matter because it's garbage time, like you said. The game's over. We're not winning. And yes, I still want him to go out there because how the business works. If you're refusing to go into the game, that word gets out. Coach is kind of like, oh man, like are we gonna have a problem with this guy? He already had a bad reputation for his attitude. But yes, it's the end of the game. It's symbolic, and he's just saying, no, I don't want to be a part of that. Okay, I mean, fine him or whatever, keep him moving, but it's their fault, man. Like you get talent like that when he's trying to go out there and earn some money, and you're not using him. It doesn't look like you plan on using him. Why are you even wasting time with him? Like it's ridiculous.
And whatever narrative they come out to make themselves look good, part of it's probably true, but part of it probably ain't. So however they try to spin this when they get asked about it, or if they just straight up deny and say I don't want to talk about it, it's crap. Because the communication amongst adults should have been better.
Yes.
And if that was his role coming here, he should have known that from the jump and, maybe like, hey, well, let's go a different direction or something.
Yes. But he's not that type of player, though.
It shows a lack of awareness from the front office to say, hey, you know what? We're going to swap picks, only move 10 to 15 spots for this guy who's in his contract year, who was a 1,000-yard receiver before, who expects to be in the starting lineup, to be playing every game, to be getting targets every game. We're just going to go and bring him in as an insurance policy and park him on the bench. Right. It shows, I think, a lack of awareness of the people part of the game.
Right. Keep in mind, and this is no shade at your boy, B, but when the last time he had a decent quarterback, and Bryce is working his way into decent, he was wasn't he all pro? At least a Pro Bowl?
I know he was a Pro Bowl. He had about 1,100 yards, I believe it was, and I think 7-8 touchdowns.
And then you got Zay Pouton for not getting the ball. You got Bateman with, I don't know what he's doing with his Instagram. And then this too. Boy, I bet they sweating bullets with them HBO cameras in there. I know they can't show HBO can't show what they want to show, which I found it out today. Because I didn't know that they had final say on what. I know you can't like show plays on the board and all that stuff, but I didn't know they had final say on what's going on.
Yeah, I hope they show as much as they possibly can, because that needs to be exposed. And this is a reputation that goes around the league for the Ravens, right? The media can paint the Ravens in this, this light of, hey, top notch organization, John Harbaugh, one of greatest coaches, blah blah blah. They can't do nothing wrong. But the players, the word is out on for the players, like, man, you don't want to play for him if you're a wide receiver, right?
What's the point of having
They're
so?
not trying to get, they're not trying to get you the ball, and you have player after player after player, Hollywood, Des Bryant, Diontae
Deshaun
Johnson
Jackson.
now, Deshaun Jackson. Like, you have a ton of wide receivers coming out saying, yeah, man, Lamar, I love playing with Lamar. I wish they drop some more plays so they can, get the ball in our hands.
We have a super chat here from Jeremy. Thank you very
Shout out to
much.
Jeremy.
Says the locker room been shaky this whole year. Dude, vibes been off. No consistency. Team isn't having fun. He said Harb's got to go.
And Barb's is right. Say it right. Barb's.
This is just too much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, look, they when Lamar is playing at his best, they do almost look unbeatable. And that's not even just this year. That's any year when Lamar goes out and Lamar is on, you can't really beat Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
When he's anything less than 100%, if he's at 99.5, like you said, things get shaky. And don't let him drop into a B plus range, because then you get your ass whooped.
Right.
So it's not a well put together team, and that it has to fall back. Even we talk about Eric DeCosta a lot, but it has to fall back even more so on John Harbaugh. He's been there the longest. He's the constant there, and no matter what players you bring in, they're going to be used however Harbaugh sees fit.
Because I was just about to say that we blaming DeCosta. Well, some people blaming DeCosta, but who's to say this is DeCosta's fault? We needed some receiver help. He went and got it. It ain't his job to say who plays and who don't play. It's him to evaluate talent and go get what the team think they need.
Yeah, but it is partially on him as well, because you went and got Diontae Johnson, not Devontae Adams. Not
How long did they wait to play?
I think it's DeCosta's fault for a couple of reasons. But you're right, Coach. Ultimately, it's Harbaugh, because he has direct control of those players. Mm-hmm. But the obvious one is it's your fault for letting Harbaugh hang around for this long. Fire him. And if you don't have the ability to fire him, you should have never taken this job. You've been the GM in waiting for years. What's going on, Engraven? You've been the GM in waiting for years. Multiple teams tried to hire you.
Mm-hmm.
You turned down interviews. The Jets was like the latest one, right? Before he became GM for the Ravens. You could have been a GM anywhere. You could have gotten exactly what you wanted. You could have said, hey, if I'm staying here, I got to run it my way, mm-hmm. right? I get to pick my coach. I want to run, the person I want to run. Like it's got to be my way. You could have done that. You chose not to, so it's your fault, right?
True.
Now, to B's point, why didn't you go and get the best talent that you possibly could? Get somebody that makes it that you can't deny him, right? You can't sit him out. You go and trade for T. Higgins. You go and trade for even Debo. Like, Debo's not having the best year right now, but you trade for somebody like that, a little bit higher profile. There's none of this nonsense going on. No way Harbaugh can justify not playing a player like that. He has to play him. Go and get a player, and you need a player like that for Lamar. Right, and go and get somebody that has to be out there and taking the snaps.
That's what we talked about at the running back position after the debacle in the AFC Championship game and the prior years as well. Like, yeah, okay, you're a running team. Yeah, you want to run the ball. Yeah, you like JK and you like Gus, but it's nothing for you to go away from them, right? And you don't, most of the time you're not even going to have to explain yourself when you go away from Gus Edwards,
mm-hmm.
right? And then you go and you get Derrick Henry. And then people are like, why did he only have 16 carries? Right? Because everyone knows what Derrick Henry can do. But you saw, Coach, when they traded for Diontae Johnson, there's people in here saying, hey, he's not better than Bateman. He's not better than Zay. He's not better than, he's just a guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that allows you to sit him on the bench without any kind of pushback.
Right.
You go and you get Davante Adams. Everyone knows what Davante Adams can do.
Yep.
And that he needs to be on the field and he needs to be getting the ball.
I agree.
Yeah. How much time you got, Coach?
About 5 more. I can go to 8.
Okay, all right. Hey, we can stretch this out.
Now if we done, you got other people. I ain't trying to hog the time. I'm flexible.
we got we're flexible. We always go off script. So for the bye week, what do you feel like they need to be focusing on to get on the right track?
Well, initially I was thinking, find a way to be more consistent on offense, continue to get better defensively as far as knowing what the personnel is and what they're good at, because they look like they're getting better at that. But at this point, freaking team chemistry.
Yeah.
Like you got to sit on a loss for a whole week. Now you got to sit on this till you come back Monday. And if I'm Diontae, I'm just sitting there festering.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I don't come back till Monday. I'm suspended for the next game. So I don't see no action till the 21st.
I don't see any point in this suspended for one game. He doesn't want to be here. He's suspended for one game, so that means he's only here for 3 more weeks.
Right.
What do you think he's gonna? You think he's gonna play the next 3 weeks? He might just say, "Man, he might as well just keep me at home. I'm not playing for you ever."
He's going to be the ultimate professional. All right, he's learned his lesson.
My thing is, if they cut him, I guarantee you a contender pick him up and use him within a week.
Yeah,
within a week. Go ahead and say it, Kansas City.
That's on my brain. Yeah, exactly what's on my brain.
Yeah,
which is why they haven't cut him and suspended him instead. Because they know he's valuable. They know he can play. They're just not going to use him.
Yep.
Well, I mean, thank you, Ravens and Diontae Johnson, for giving us something to talk about today. I thought this was good.
Bro, I've been fired. Like I'm biting my tongue to not say exactly how I feel about these cats. Today might have been the straw.
I was like, go ahead and say it, Coach. Ain't nobody watching.
It's been we've been well documented on how we feel about this organization. Okay, I just don't know how anybody can sit here and say, hey, they're doing a bang up job, right? How did things go sour with the wide receiver we just traded for? How did it go sour that bad that we have to suspend them?
Right.
You can't just put it on the receiver and say, oh, poor attitude.
He ain't even act yet.
Right.
He ain't find nowhere to stay. Remember, he's staying with Nelly.
and no, it sounds like I would have caught that shit.
Respectfully.
Right. It was a beautiful pass. Me and Chris talked about it earlier. It was a beautiful pass. The one by the end zone that he dropped.
That could have changed the whole game right there, because we're getting 7 points if he catches that. And we don't have to settle for a field goal that we missed. What's up, keeping it real? So the Ravens spicing up Wednesday with some more chaos. Yes, indeed.
That's like we always say, Wednesday provides. Right? That's why
imagine if the teams didn't have say for what went on Hard Knocks. How the episode was already good to me.
That's the dream, right?
The episode was already good. Imagine if. So okay, let me go back a little bit. So since the team has control of what goes on the air, they allowed all that stuff between the Giants to show how the owner was basically didn't care about the GM's decisions.
That crew was like, listen, we have to air an episode. We can't cut enough, to not make you look incompetent. So you just got to pick something. All right, you got to pick what goes out.
Imagine if that's the best that they could do. That was the cleanest that they could do with that episode. Imagine what got cut out.
Right. Probably the owner probably walking down the hall saying all kind of stuff. We're in a dangerous situation right now. We don't know where our play is. We're not consistent enough, and then this extra drama don't bode well for team chemistry. So what if it's some people in the locker room that feel like me, and they think what Diontae did was not necessarily 100% justified, but 75% they feel where he coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost certain that's the case, Coach. And that's not just exclusive to John Harbaugh. Any coach that's been there for a long time, right? You start to lose the locker room. Look what's going on with the 49ers right now. Yeah, they have a lot of injuries, but even before the injuries piled up, you started hearing gripes from the players about how Kyle Shanahan is running the team. And that started even in minicamp. They're just like, look, we're not feeling what you're doing anymore. You know? But when you're doing that and you're losing, and it's like you're not correcting any of those mistakes, and you still want to be this my way or the highway guy, you don't lighten up at all. Yeah, you're going to lose the locker room. So one or two things are going to happen coming off the bye. We get on a hot streak and we win the Super Bowl because Harbaugh knows his back is against the wall, and walls are closing in on him, and he has to do something to save his job. Or we continue to just implode, and he is gone for sure.
And to your point, Coach, I know that I know Marcus and Benjamin are in Diontae's corner. So now you've traded for a malcontent, and now you've just got a group. You're building it up for them.
For a minute, the doghouse is going to be more powerful than the roster.
Right. How we didn't talk about that on Monday. How do you feel about Marcus Williams being a healthy scratch?
I know when Kyle went down, I about pooped my pants.
They said next up Sanusi Kane or Bo Braid. I was like,
Sanusi was out too.
He was out.
Sanusi on IR with a hamstring, I think.
I thought
his hamstring. He was out. He started the game, but he got hurt for Kyle, I think.
Oh, okay.
So all you had left was Bo Braid.
I mean, shout out to
and that's when it really hits you that no, you don't really love those off-season darlings as much as you think you do. Like those guys, they oh man, oh he looked great in minicamp, he looked great in that preseason game. They got one, and then it's you playing the Eagles for real, and it's like Bo Braid, give Marcus on that bench.
They gonna be like high school. Hey Bo, hey Marcus, your jersey. He'll get some cleats from Bo Braid, the pants from Sanusi.
He'll be long old by the time they figure it out. Let's go.
All right, Coach, let the people know where they can find you, man.
You can find me at Sip the Tally Films on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, and what's that other thing they're trying to ban? TikTok. And then on Twitter, I'm Coach Evans 9.
Yes, go over to Blue Sky. We're all over on Blue Sky. Hey, did you create a startup pack? You know what that is?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Because I'm about to create one and put us all in it.
Mm-hmm. I did. I think I put y'all in it when I saw that you had an account. If not, I'll go back and do it. But I did before I realized y'all had an account. And I went back and edited it a couple of days ago. But I need to go, as more people that I know come over, need to edit it. But I did create one, yeah.
Bet. All right.
Don't let mine stop you from do one so we can just more people can find us.
Yep. Facts. All right. Check us out on Blue Sky. That's where we be at these days. Okay. And definitely subscribe to Sip to Tally and more Sip to Tally. All right.
Yeah. Let me make an announcement about that.
Yeah.
More Sip to Tally said at 990 something people for a long time. So much that I got discouraged and left it alone. And that's why y'all starting to see other people's films on the main channel.
Okay,
I needed 10 subs for a minute. Now I ain't gonna go back over there right now. It is what it is. It's gonna be backup, just in case something happened to my main channel. It's gonna be backup. But it's at 990 people for a long time.
There's 120 people in here. I know 10 people. I know you're all subscribed, but you all have backup accounts. Okay, you all have backup accounts. Use your backup account and go subscribe to more Sip to Tally. All right, do that right now. You're not going to find any better breakdown of film analysis. I promise you. You're not going to find anybody better than Coach. All right. So subscribe to both channels and be one of the smarter fans out there. Be educated in what you're saying. All right. Coach will get you right.
I appreciate it.
All right. Coach, appreciate you, man. Man, I'm gonna talk to you soon.
All right, I'll be in the chat.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, B.
And we've got another guest.
Yes, birthday boy. What's going on, Adrian?
Hold on.
What it is, man? Y'all hear me?
Happy birthday,
Yep,
man.
we hear you.
Yeah, it's my birthday, man. I'm 40. I'm a man now. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm 40. You know what I'm saying?
I should have queued up that sound bite, man. Ferris, you got that sound bite? I'm a man. I'm 40. Ferris ain't got it.
First on the phone.
Oh, he's on the phone.
Yeah,
Ferris. Ferris, if you can hear me, cue up. I'm a man. I'm 40. Oh, now he's putting his earbuds in.
Oh,
Cue
Lord.
up. I'm a man. I'm 40.
I think he's
All right, he's working on it. He's
He's
not looking.
He ain't got it. That's all right.
He ain't ready. He ain't ready. It's all right. All right. So, all right, you got to listen to what Coach had to say about Diontae Johnson. Give us your thoughts real quick on the situation and tell us what you think the Ravens need to be working on or focusing on. Thank you, James A, for subscribing. But tell us what you think they should be focusing on this bye week to get their minds right for the
First of
Giants.
all, I'm a big fan of Coach. I watch his show every week. Nobody, like you said, Jose, breaks down film like him. You could tell he has the mind of a coach, and I wish he was on the staff because our staff is some hot garbage right now. Starting with the head man, John Harbaugh. I think my suggestion would be to get him out of here. It's a bye week. We can get the new coach in there. You know what I'm saying? So when we play the Giants, we stomped them into the ground like we should. But of course, the Ravens won't do that. They're not going to
He hit 1K on Morse to tally. Salute to y'all, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
They not going to fire Harbaugh, but I say it every time I come on the show. Fire Harbaugh. If y'all listening, get him out of here. It's been 16 years. He got to go. But since Harbaugh's still going to be there come next week, we got to get some leadership from the team. The leadership is not coming from the organization, is not coming from the staff. The players, and I said this before, Roquan Smith, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, those blue chip superstar, potential future Hall of Fame players, they got to get the rest of the 53 on board with what's going on. Like, you have an opportunity when you're playing good football, you can beat any team in the NFL, but then you're also capable of losing to the Browns. You're capable of losing to the Raiders. You're capable of probably losing to Carolina if they won the schedule.
I don't know why you gotta be disrespectful on the show like that.
I'm just saying. I'm thinking Jacksonville. Could we lose to them with Mac Jones? Maybe. But we can beat the Kansas City Chiefs when we play at the top of our game. We could beat the Steelers. We could beat Philly, even though Philly came in here to the bank and took all our money last week. But it's all good, man. With Lamar and with the Ravens, the narrative is they don't get it done in the playoffs. So even if we went 17-0 in the regular season, it'd be a large contingent, namely people like Nick Wright. Let me see him do it in the playoffs. Lamar doesn't get it done in the playoffs. They always fall up short or fall short in the playoffs. So my whole thing is, it doesn't matter. We just got to get into the playoffs. I don't care if we're the 7th seed and we're not going to be the one. But even if we were the one, it doesn't matter. We got to go in and win as many games as it takes to hoist the Lombardi. And it's looking like it's going to be 4, and it's looking like 3 of them going to be on the road, and the 4th will be at a neutral site, wherever the Super Bowl is this year. Is it in Vegas this year, or where is it?
This year,
New Orleans.
Oh yeah, we had the whole Lil Wayne debate. How did I forget that? So for us to get to New Orleans, and ironically, the last time we won a Super Bowl, it was in New Orleans with the whole power outage during the Beyonce performance and the NFL robbing us of a blowout victory we would have had because we had all the momentum up until that power outage at halftime. But I digress. My thing is, I want the Ravens internally, from a player standpoint, to self-correct themselves. Stop listening to the coaching staff. Go out there and do what you know how to do. You guys are in the NFL because you're great players, because you're great talents, and you work hard. These coaches don't know a damn thing. But I want to give credit to Zach Orr because he's got the defense playing well, and it just seems like when the offense is playing well, the defense is trash. When the defense is playing well, the offense is trash. When are we going to put together a full 60 minutes of both offense, defense, and special teams? Special teams have been horrendous all year. And it hasn't been enough talk about how, what's his name? Jordan Stout. how trash he has been as a punter. I'm just watching.
You are right about that, Adrian.
His
Like
hands,
he because of how poorly Tucker kicked, we completely glossed over how bad Jordan Stout was in that game. He definitely contributed to that loss. Those
oh,
were some of the worst punts I've ever seen.
he cost us a lot of field position in that game. And
Yes.
conversely, one of Philadelphia's touchdowns was a direct result of their punter getting us, within the 2-yard line because we weren't able to reverse field position. And then Philly got it on, I think, the 45, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
When you give a team less than half the field to be able to score 7, you're going to give up a lot of touchdowns in that situation. We need a punter that's going to get it done. He was a 4th-round draft pick. Most punters go undrafted. That's an organizational failure for a guy who I think is in his 3rd year with the team punting. He's not a rookie.
Yeah.
He's not getting it done. I want to see some competition for Jordan Stout. I've heard a lot about competition for Justin Tucker as well. I don't know if that's the right route. A lot of it is he's just been so good for so long, and I have the utmost respect for Justin Tucker. He's a Ravens Ring of Honor. As soon as he retires, as soon as that comes up, he'll be there. It was looking like he was a first ballot Hall of Famer, which never happens for kickers, and now that could potentially be in jeopardy. I would like to think
he's still a Hall of Famer, though.
He's not going to be first ballot, though.
I thought he had a chance at first ballot, but this is the type of year where it's just a big, ugly wart. He's missed 10 kicks on a season, 8 field goals, 2 extra points. He's hit the uprights multiple times. He tries to correct when he hits wide right, then he's wide left the next time. I don't know what's going on, if it's a problem at home and his wife is leaving him. I don't know if it's some bedroom problems. I don't know if it's a mental issue with J Tuck, but he is not the guy that we've seen for the first 12 years of his career up until this point. So somebody said something while I was in the gym the other day. They said we should bring in Harrison Butker. I'm not sure if he's still on the Chiefs roster right now.
He's on. I think they just put him on IR. Or they're putting
him on IR. They're like, oh, we can go out and try to get him because they got another kicker filling in for him. Competition at this point, I mean, I don't even know if we could bring a guy in here and expect consistency in week 14, week 15, week 16.
I think what needs to happen with Justin Tucker's not going anywhere. We can't get anybody better than him at this point. Chris just joking on Monday on the Ravens Roundup pointed this out that usually when kickers are washed, it's because they don't have the leg strength anymore. Justin Tucker, there's nothing wrong with his leg strength. He can still kick it from 60 yards out. It's the accuracy. So that leads to more of a mental thing, right? A technique thing. Those are things that he can still fix and get on the right track. So Harbaugh isn't wrong when he says, hey, we just got to figure things out. How you figure it out is stop playing for field goals and putting him in these situations where, man, I got to kick this 50-plus yarder again. I know I missed the last one, man. I don't know if I'm going to make this one. Score touchdowns, right? If you got to kick field goals, make them within 40 yards. Make them easy kicks for him so he can build up a little momentum, get his confidence back, and then he can boot those 50-plus yarders like he used to, no problem. What are you laughing at, V?
Jay is always just out of pocket, man. Like I told y'all, Tuck needs an escort. Kicking is stiff. You gotta stop, Jay. Let me say Jay's keyboard. No, but I think, like I said, it's too late in the season to think about a replacement. And honestly, if I'm Baltimore, if I'm Harbaugh, if I'm Lamar, I'm all the guys in that locker room, I'm betting on Justin Tucker making the kicks when you really need him to in the playoffs, versus just saying he's done and we need to move on. I don't think that the guys on the team have lost faith that he'll be able to get it done. He'll be able to right himself before the playoffs start. But like I said, they have to feel that way, because you can't really go out and get anybody at this point. You get somebody off the street, you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah,
and you got to believe in the guy like Justin Tucker, who has done it so well for so long, to be able to get himself back on track.
Yeah, I want to believe in it, but I've seen it in other sports. I don't know if you guys remember you probably remember Jose. You got a couple years on me, bro. But
just a couple.
I'm old now, so I can make these jokes. But what I'm saying is, there was a guy by the name of Chuck Knobloch, played the majority of his career with the Minnesota Twins, was an all-star second baseman, had great defense, and was like a 300 hitter. He went to the Yankees, and he couldn't throw from second base to first base anymore. And that's the easiest throw in baseball. He just lost it mentally, and he never got it back. And I'm hoping that's not what we're seeing with Justin Tucker. I don't see the same swagger when he steps out there. Like, it was a look in his eyes where you could turn away from the TV and just know he was making that field goal. If it was within 50, you didn't even look half the time. You it's like, oh, he made that. You can go to the bathroom, you can make a sandwich, you're gonna have 3 points on that board. Now it's like, man, we watching with our fingers crossed, bated breath. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm sure the rest of Ravens Nation, Ravens flock is doing the same thing I'm doing right now. It's like, is dude going to make this? And it could be a 44-yarder. Shoot, it could be an extra point now. You know, he's just been so prolific. And like you said, B, I believe that he can right the ship. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say this is the first time I've lost some faith in Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
You know, I think for me and B, it's not even that I lost faith in Tucker. Like, no, I don't have the same confidence. But even before this year, we were saying it's time to stop relying on your kicker.
Because at some point, he wasn't going to be knocking down 60-yarders like it was nothing. It was going to go away at some point regardless.
Yes. So I'm not down on Tucker. I think he could still make the easier kicks for the most part, and that's where he should be at this point. But we keep playing for field goals because that's just the type of football that Harbaugh likes to play, and it's cost us. He wants to be a defensive team, run the ball, kick the ball, play field position, but all those things aren't working, except for running, right? We don't have a good O-line to hold up against the tougher defensive lines. We have a kicker who's, he's not as good anymore. That's just what it is. And we have probably one of the worst punters in the league. How many times can you shank a ball in the game? Right?
As always, at least once more.
Yeah, at least once more. So all the things that's supposed to be the makeup of our team. Defense, not good. Right? Getting better, which is not what you're supposed to be saying when you built this team on defense. Hey, they're getting better. They're improving every day. They're not last anymore in passing. Right? All the things that is supposed to be the foundation of this team is awful.
Yeah, and you got a head coach with a special teams background. 9 years as special teams coach in Philadelphia, John Harbaugh, underneath Andy Reid. And the special teams is probably the worst unit on the team. I don't think that gets highlighted enough. Like, your unit, the unit that your expertise in, is supposed to be the best unit on the team. And one thing I can say about Harbaugh is typically special teams under his tenure has been either the best unit or second best unit on the team. This year, by far and away, I think that they're worse than the defense and they're worse than the offense, at least from a consistency standpoint. Punter ain't doing nothing good. We ain't getting no type of plus yardage in returns. We can barely get to the 30. Anytime we bring it out, catch it on the 5-yard line, we get into the 25 max right there. So we haven't found a returner. They put Keaton Mitchell back there for a little bit. We got to try to get some field position, and I don't know what that's going to look like, but we shouldn't have to drive 80, 85 yards every time to get 7.
Yeah. All right. I want to move on to the Panthers segment real quick. You want to hang out, Adrian?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna talk some Panthers, and then we'll do court of public opinion. Again, you're welcome to hang out for any of these segments we got coming up. We're gonna bring Ferris up for court of public opinion, and we'll finish out the show with them if he has time. You good with that, Ferris? Ferris is good. Give him the thumbs up. All right, B. The Panthers had 2 tough losses that could have easily been wins, and you could be on a 4-game win streak right now, right? And look, you're playing another tough team. You've had some tough matchups these last couple of weeks as well, and you've held up. I'm very interested to see how you fare against the Eagles? They're one of the hottest teams in the league right now. Are they 10-2 now?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So, how do you feel? You're going to Philly to play them.
I feel like I feel like they're going to lose. They're not talented enough, really realistically, to compete with Philadelphia. I mean, I know it's the NFL on any given Sunday and all that, but realistically, Philadelphia is a much better team than Carolina is. I just want to see Bryce Young continue the level of play that he showed over the last couple of weeks, continue to improve. I don't expect the defense to be able to hold the Eagles offense at all. The defense, even at the start of the season, wasn't particularly talented. You know, they're missing Shaq Thompson, they're missing Derek Brown, they're missing several other role players. So, you know, they're beat up on that side of the ball, and I would expect Saquon to kind of have his way with the defense, honestly. And so this week for me is really just about seeing how the offense performs, how Bryce Young in particular performs. Still want to see more from Jonathan Brooks, you know, going into his, I believe, third game now. I want to see a few more carries from him. But it's just to see them continue to go out there and play hard, be competitive, and kind of keep that positive mindset going that they've established over the last couple of weeks. Because, I mean, like I said, you can't really realistically expect them to win going into this game.
Yeah. Expecting to win, no. I think they will be more competitive than people realize. I think they're at a point now where they're not the same team that you saw at the beginning of the year. And it's hard to look at them that way because of their record. But these last few weeks, I think they're showing you. And a team like Philly coming off a big win, you know, looking very impressive, going to play, you know, what's perceived to be a lesser team. They could have a little bit of a letdown, not enough to lose the game, but you know, I don't think Sirianni is that great of a coach, you know. I'm not bashing him, but I think he has a lot of the same issues that John Harbaugh has, and I think Philly fans will tell you that too, right? I mean, at the end of last year, a lot of them wanted him fired, you know, and Sirianni has had his issues playing against the Bucks, who Dave Canales used to coach for, at least the offensive side of it. I think Canales can do some things out there, at least on the offensive side, to make the game interesting. And if they just not locked in this week, the defense can make it interesting as well. You know, I mean, you keep saying Jalen Hurts is a fraud. I don't think he's a fraud, but you know, it just could be one of those games where because
Super
you're
fraud.
looking at the you're looking at the other side of the field and you say this team can't beat us, you don't really ever turn it on, you know, and you can keep them in the game longer than expected. But I do think the Eagles will win. But I think it's going to be another one of those games where we look at and say, man, the Panthers were in that game.
Listen. If they can contain Saquon Barkley and make Jalen Hurts beat them with his arm, that's a Panthers dub all day.
Okay. All right. And I really want to see Bryce Young keep it going. And again, this is a tough defense. So I'm really interested to see how he fares. Man, whatever fares, you're not coming up anymore. Okay.
Well, yeah, Jalen Hurts had 120 yards against the Ravens passing and one on the road. That's just despicable right there, bro. He is not really like that. Saquon Barkley has that man looking like he doing something. But let's just be real with you, or real with everybody when I say this. Panthers the best dressed team in the NFL. They gonna have the Blythe jersey on Sunday. You know what I mean? That combination of that Carolina blue with that black and the way the silver just hits on the white. Panthers all day, baby. But what I'm saying about it is the Panthers, like you guys said, they just have to keep improving. They're not expected to win this season. The players are not tanking out there. They're giving A+ effort every week. They could have beat the Bucks last week. The week before that, they should have beat the Chiefs. You know, I just see a lot of improvement from Bryce Young in particular, and the team is galvanized around that right now. And this is one thing about it: organizations tank, players never tank because every week their job is on the line. You got guys that they could be out of the league if they can't make it with the Panthers, you know, and they're out there showing you each and every week what it means to give top effort, despite having on the surface nothing to play for. They got everything to play for, and that's pride. That's for their jobs. That's for opportunity to continue with this team. And I think the first guy you got to look at is Bryce Young. Earlier this season, when he got benched, he could have went into a shell because a lot of guys, when they get benched as a number one overall draft pick, they never get another opportunity, or they gotta wait years and years. They got to do the Sam Darnold route. They got to go the Geno Smith route of bouncing around, or Baker Mayfield
And that's
backing
what we
up.
thought was going to happen. Yeah.
Like, that's what we thought was going to happen to Bryce Young. He was going to end up on another team as a journeyman backup quarterback and maybe get a shot at that guy in front of him got injured. But luckily for Bryce, he was given another opportunity because Dalton started, playing like Andy Dalton again. And he's showing you that maybe there is something to him being drafted number one overall. We forget that most guys drafted number one overall are going to the worst team in the NFL. You're
Yeah.
not going to a great organization. You're not going to a team that has a bunch of talent around you. You're going somewhere where you're expected to be the guy, and you're the leader at 21, 22 years old of a bunch of guys that have been in the league longer than you, a bunch of guys that understand how to play and how to prepare themselves at the NFL level. It's taking Bryce Young a little bit more time than CJ Stroud, but I'm seeing a little bit of regression from Stroud, and I'm seeing progression from Bryce Young, to where I'm not saying they're on the same level right now, but Young is trending upwards right now. And I just love to see it. I think he's going to get an opportunity to be the starter next year in Carolina. And when you have your quarterback, it just makes it easier to build the team, because now you can attack the offensive line and get some young linemen in there. Now you can put better receivers around them. They already found their running back in Chuba Hubbard, I believe, is one of the most underrated. You don't think he's the guy, B? I think he's one of the
No,
most underrated.
I think they drafted their running back in Jonathan Brooks, and then for reasons unknown, they
He
went
just
ahead and paid their backup in Chuba Hubbard.
So
Hey,
you think he
DC
was a
Truck. Hey,
backup?
hold on, DC Trucker. If you're gonna come on here and talk trash, man, pay attention to what we saying. Nobody picked the Panthers to win, so pay attention. All right, don't come in here to talk trash, because we don't control the chat. Danny will get you. All right, none of us here picked the Panthers to win, but if you watch football, you'll know for the last 4 weeks they've been very competitive, even against some of the top teams in the NFL. Right, they just lost to the Bucks in overtime. They lost to the Chiefs by a field goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've been hanging tough. They're not the same team that they were at the beginning of the year. So what we're saying is this game is going to be more competitive, we think, than people realize. But no, nobody's picking the Eagles. I mean, nobody's picking the Panthers, I should say, to beat the Eagles.
Yeah, and look at this. Whatever that spread is, they're going to cover. The Eagles aren't going to cover that spread. And it's probably somewhere around 9. I haven't looked at it. I bet you it's around 9, 10 points. They ain't beating them by 9, 10 points. I feel like it's going to be a one-score game for the majority of that game. And it's the Eagles, they let teams hang around. I haven't really seen them beat teams into the ground like that this year. They have a couple blowout wins, but they're not a team that's, running roughshod over teams 35-3 or anything like that. I think it's going to be in the 20s, most likely. And it's going to come down to what quarterback doesn't make that big mistake in the critical moments. And, I think the Panthers could win. I'm not going to pick them to win, but I'm not going to be surprised if they win the game.
There you go.
I'm gonna be surprised, but that's all right. Being competitive and seeing Bryce continue to develop while they lose games is the ideal for Carolina right now, and keeping that top 5 draft pick, keeping them on pace to get an Abdul Carter or maybe Graham out of Michigan, or maybe one of the wide receivers. But yeah, wins is not really the move for Carolina right now.
What do you think of Travis Hunter out there in Carolina?
I think Travis Hunter is an incredible talent, right? I personally, I know some people disagree. I personally think he's better at wide receiver than corner, but I think he's probably going to go higher than Carolina ends up picking, honestly, because they're picking 5th right now. The last mock draft, I mean, obviously, they're mock drafts or whatever, but the last one I saw had him actually going number 1, which I don't think he's going to go number 1, but I think he goes before 5.
When was the last time a wide receiver went number 1? Was it Keyshawn?
I think it was Keyshawn. You talk about
25 years ago. it's been. That's crazy. Not Justin Jefferson, not Jamar Chase, not Randy Moss, not all these Hall of Famers that we could think of. But Keyshawn Johnson was the last
Randy
one.
Moss got in a lot of trouble.
and fun fact, Carolina wanted to draft Randy Moss, but their former owner took him off the board because he didn't represent Panther values, said the racist and sexist. But that's neither here nor there.
Randy Moss made everybody pay for skipping him in that draft, especially the Cowboys. Them 3 touchdowns. I think that was Thanksgiving. 3 touchdowns, and it was like 160 yards receiving on 3 catches. Like, just smashed them into the ground. Jerry Jones, he has a way of picking guys that are going to destroy him when they go head to head, as evidenced by Derrick Henry earlier this year, what he did to the Cowboys as well.
Oh, the Cowboys, man. Just so many bad moves that they've made and just missteps. But that's their problem, not ours. B, you want to go into court of public opinion next?
Yeah.
All right, Coach. I know if you're still in the chat, this is the segment that you were waiting for. Coach asked us earlier this week how he felt about one of these topics. I said we were going to put it on a court of public opinion. So we got 3 cases, ladies and gentlemen. All right. This may not be a real court, but this is the court that you need. What's wrong, B?
Hold up. Give me a second.
Okay. All right. I'll filibuster a little bit. I'll read a couple of comments here. Big Red says, I said it. Panthers win 24-21. Oh, there you go. All right. There you go.
It's a bold one.
Rochelle Davis, thank you for joining the stream, says Panthers versus Eagles trap game. Okay. I think so, a little bit. Because I think Sirianni suffers from the same thing Harbaugh does. I don't think he gets the team prepared week in and week out. Yes, they have a really good record right now. All right, man. We'll see. This has been Harbaugh's MO for the longest time. I think Sirianni could definitely have a letdown game. Not to the point where they lose, although they could do that too. Then they get beat down by Tampa Bay earlier this year.
They got destroyed by Tampa Bay, and they've gotten destroyed twice in a row. Tampa Bay bouncing from the playoffs last year, and that was an utter massacre. Baker Mayfield had Sirianni number. It's obvious.
All right,
that's crazy, man.
Y'all ready to fire up the court?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, court of public opinion is about to begin. All rise. Court is now in session.
And welcome Ferris to the show, Ferris.
I'ma need a day off. I think I call Ferris up.
Okay, Ferris is here. Ferris, did you find the soundbite? I'm 40. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I can say that now. I'm a man. I'm 40.
He is 40.
All right, yes, so indeed. We've got three cases, like 3 kind of stupid ones in my opinion. But we're going to start it off with college football versus just some common decency. All right, this past week was rivalry week.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that means, just from context, it means that everybody played their biggest rival, or almost everybody played their biggest rival this week. You had Michigan, Ohio State. You had Georgia Tech, Georgia. You had UNC, NC State. Just all kinds of big rivalry games, and a lot of them ended with some fisticuffs. Okay, yeah, a lot of home teams got beat, yeah. And despite having a 60-minute period where they could have fought as much as they wanted, they decided to wait to the 65th minute and start a fight when the opposing team planted their flag or trident at midfield. You had several players. The Michigan players went and they planted the Michigan flag at the 50-yard line. Arizona State went and planted the trident at midfield in Arizona. NC State, I believe it was, tried to plant the flag against UNC. Texas tried to do it against Texas A&M, but their coach stopped them from even getting to that point because he hates fun. But But a lot of these games ended up, once somebody goes to midfield to try and plant the flag, then the other team gets hot, right? Then they want to fight. Then they want to throw some punches. And then there was a whole lot of just pearl clutching from the likes of Kirk Herbstreit about how terrible this is for the sport, and there's no class and nobody wants to see that, blah, 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 blah. So we want to just kind of go around and get y'all opinion. What do you think it's okay for the opposing team, having won the game, particularly in a rivalry game, to grab their flag and try to plant it at midfield on the opponent's home field?
Now, before we start, I want to do it a little differently. I want to put up the poll early, and as we make our cases, just put the poll up from now, and as we make our cases, people can vote. All right, give B a second here. He's gonna put it on the screen. But yeah, so that's the thing, right? Like, you guys think it's there's no place for it in the sport, or hey, it's understandable. Ferris, we'll start with you. What do you think?
Well, 1 second before you start, Ferris. I'm so sorry. That's all. I'm putting up the poll. I'm putting up the poll right here. And it's going to be #fight or #class. If you just want to see the losers shake hands and go into the locker room. If you want to see them fight back, #fight. If you want to see no flag planting, just the handshake line like in hockey and blah, 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 and then #class. Go ahead, Ferris.
It's called Rivalry Week. You hate each other. So hate each other. And that's what they did. They hate each other. If you don't want it to happen, beat them at home. But crazy fact about this is about the Ohio State Michigan thing. I've noticed that a lot of Michigan players, a lot of Ohio State players, they're 4-0 against the schools, because they go on like Ohio State beats them down for like 8 straight years, then Michigan beats them down for 8 straight years. There's never an Ohio State guy or a Michigan guy that's like 2-2 or 1-3. It's either 0-4 or 0-4. You guys hate each other. You guys call yourself the game. You guys, that week, you cross out every M in your state. That's what you do. You lost to a team who was 6-5, who fired their offensive coordinator literally the day after they beat you. They planted their flag because they deserved it, and they beat you. You wanted to good, and you wanted to respond by fighting. Good. You want to cry like Jack Sawyer did after the game? Fine. Do that. It's rivalry week, man. Throw some punches. Hit somebody. Keep it in bounds. It doesn't matter. George Pickens fighting a random Georgia Tech engineer in the end zone. That's what college football is all about, man.
So,
honestly, the one thing I don't agree with is Arizona taking away the Trident. Homie, you lost 42-3. So go to the locker room, all right? You have no right to do anything, to be honest. So it's rivalry week.
Ferris is clearly #fight for Ferris. What is shook head though? I don't even want to read this. I do not want to.
What is shook head though? Donate.
By the way, can you drop me real quick?
Okay.
No. Okay. No. Just continue. Sorry, my bad.
Shook Hendo, thank you for the donation. He said, "Did the Miami Hurricanes get to plant their flag? In words of the great Dr. Ichiro Serizawa, let them fight, and Ferris, stop yelling."
I'm not yelling. Just being passionate.
Not in this particular moment. So yeah, Ferris is clearly #fight. And I think I'm taking that side as well, because listen, and I saw Coach and I saw Osmond going on the wrong side of history with #class. But listen, as seriously as we take sports in this country, right? As much as we only like winners in this country, as much as writers and fans like to compare sports to war, because they do it constantly.
All the time.
Right? The quarterback is the field general. No, you're not. You're a quarterback. You play football. It's a children's game. But we love to do that, right? We love to mythologize athletes. Well, you lost. So you lost control of your battlefield. You don't get to have any say in what happens at the 50-yard line after you get beat. Turn around, walk back to your locker room, and figure out how you're going to beat them at their house next year. That's all you get to do. Ohio State. Just completely embarrassing, by the way.
So wait a minute.
This is a team. They're 10 times better than Michigan.
So wait, when you say so when you say fight, you mean are you saying they shouldn't fight the people because they you should fight the team that's planting the flag?
Well, no. I'm saying it's no. I'm saying it's you shouldn't necessarily be upset, right? Like, in theory. But I get that, hey, they planted the flag, so now you're all riled up. Now you want to fight. I'm saying you should be doing that during the game, but I don't have any problem with the disrespect, I guess we should say, right? Mm-hmm. The disrespect of the other team planting the flag on your
perfectly fine.
Them stomping on the logo like the Titans and the Ravens, and then their little back and forth. Like, that is what kind of makes these games what they are, right? And yeah, okay, those guys are going to get upset. They're going to throw their little punches. But like the Michigan guy said, I forget the player's name.
Mason Graham.
He's 4-0 against Ohio State. He was doing an interview and he said, some people need to learn how to lose. Talking about Ohio State. Right?
Khalil Mullins.
There you go. And so I feel like the taunting, the disrespect, that kind of thing it goes hand in hand with what sports are.
Absolutely.
And that is what more people are going to watch Michigan Ohio State next year because of what happened at the end of Michigan Ohio State this year. Right now, I've never been one for the handshake line. Like, everybody loves to point at hockey and like, oh, look at the class and look at how they respect each other. They line up and they shake hands after the game. They let them fight in hockey during the game. They stop the game and they form a circle around two dudes and they say, fight until one of you falls. Of course, they can just shake hands after the game. They got all their aggression out during the game, right? But that kind of stuff is what makes sports worth watching. When Charlie Ward gets suplexed into the stands, it makes it more fun.
Keep bringing that up. Why do you keep bringing that up, man? All right, what's up with that?
It's fair.
Right, I want to get Adrian. I want to get Adrian's opinion on this, and I'm gonna get mine.
Why my point guard? Come on, man.
All right, Adrian. There you go. Adrian got the. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I brought my gavel. I came prepared because I knew this was going to happen. This is how I feel about it. I grew up remembering Terrell Owens running to the star, planting the football on that star. If you want him not to put that football on that star, you got to keep him out the end zone. If you want them not to plant that flag on your field, you got to keep them from winning at the end of the game. Ohio State had the opportunity really to be number 1 overall, number 2 in the country. That's what they were with. You talk about a top 3 team in the country losing, like you said, first to a 6-5 team that's rebuilding it ever since Harbaugh left. Doesn't even know how to win anymore.
No quarterback.
J.J. McCarthy, he's gone. And now Michigan is right back to where Michigan was before Harbaugh came in. So my whole point is, you get the opportunity to talk as much shit as you want to while the game is going on. You got the opportunity to win while the game's going on. When the game's over, I'd rather you do like the Pistons did in 1990 and just walk off the court before the game. You already lost, bro. You want to watch the confetti fall. You're going to watch guys plant a flag. You're going to fight them for the flag. You should have been fighting them during the game. I don't have any respect for all this extra fight when you just getting your ass kicked up and down the field while the game's going on. That's when y'all need to be fighting. And I just feel like it's not even just Ohio State that did it. UNC did the same thing, did they not?
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah,
I didn't see the exact what exactly led up to it, but a Notre Dame player was throwing a punch at a Stanford.
That was in the middle of the game.
Yeah, but I didn't see what
the USC guy. He punched the USC guy right in the face. It was a guard on a defensive tackle, so probably somebody grabbed somebody. You know how to get dirty on the inside, and he saw that defensive tackle on the ground and was like, you know what? Pop! Right in the face.
I'm gonna punch that face mask.
Exactly, which is stupid, but that's a conversation for another story.
Football is a physical game. It's a physical sport. I want to see aggression, but within the lines of the game. You know, if you guys want to fight, go out in the parking lot without your helmets. You can't fight a dude with a helmet on anyway. And then it always got me where one dude wants to take his helmet off and everybody else still got theirs on. I'm like, your face is wide open, bruh. You know, why do you want to antagonize a 300-pound man with a helmet on and your face is wide open for a dude to just knock you out? I never understood that at all. Like,
so are you hashtag fight or hashtag class?
I would say I'm hashtag class. I want to see the fighting during the game. After the game, I do want to see the guys line up and show respect to each other. They're doing battle out there, quote unquote, right? But after the war is over, shake hands and acknowledge that somebody beat you fair and square and they were better than you. You know, and to the victor goes the spoils. They beat you. They got the right to plant their flag on the field. You know, they came in your trap and took over the trap. That's what they say, right? You came in the trap, took over your trap.
You know,
that's what the kids say. Yes.
I almost completely agree with you. Almost, Adrian. I'm hashtag class as well. However, you know, fighting is a misdemeanor in my court. Okay, like, you know, you shouldn't fight, right? You shouldn't fight because I look at it like boxing. You know, these are two of the most physical sports. You are leaving it all out there on the field. It's very physical. Like you're letting out your aggression. When you throw, you know, all 220 pounds of yourself into somebody to knock them off their feet, that's aggression, right? And you're doing it over and over and over for 4 quarters. I would like to see. I don't like the whole lining up thing. I like in basketball or anything like that. Like, it should be genuine, but I would like to see the two teams have, you know, at the end say, hey, you know what, great game, you know, congratulations. I don't like the flag planting either. You know what I'm saying? Because it's understood as disrespect. It's not one of those things where it's like, hey, like, you know, this is what the winner does. It's tradition. Like, you know, we win this cup or this trophy or whatever. No, like, it's meant as disrespect. And if you mean it as disrespect, it's going to be met with disrespect, right? So, no, I don't like that part of it. And I definitely wouldn't like it as a coach. I could completely understand why Coach Evans doesn't like it. But, you know, it happened. I was slightly entertained. I ain't gonna lie, you know.
Exactly.
But you know, but in boxing, I look at it in boxing. Two fighters, all the trash talking, all that, you know, they hate each other. They'll fight at press conference. They do all that stuff leading up to the fight. You would think they actually hate each other. They'll go in the ring and literally try to knock each other's heads off. As soon as that final bell rings, it's all love. It's all love, right? And I like that about the sport. And I like to see that in football. And it happens most of the time in football, basketball, whatnot. But sometimes these things happen. And it is what it is.
But, you know, I think in boxing it happens because those guys understand that you're selling the fight, and the stakes are so much higher in boxing.
Because you die, actually.
Not that you know, you can get obviously seriously injured playing football, but it's less likely. It's less likely than in boxing. And you know what? A lot of these kids and these players, they grow up. It's not that you hate the people on the team, but you hate that uniform. You hate that.
How do you
logo.
quantify whether the stakes are higher? And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, you know,
I mean the stakes in terms of just the risk involved in the sport. Like, boxing is a more dangerous sport than football is.
I don't know if it is.
Multiple people die in boxing, you know, within the last year and a half.
Didn't somebody just die in football a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it was Alabama A&M linebacker died during the game. Yeah,
and also in I don't know, man. I don't know if it's
well, they're both dangerous sports.
Yeah,
they're both dangerous.
They're both dangerous.
Yeah.
I do think that more people get killed boxing than playing football, and the purpose in boxing is to inflict damage on the other person. That's not the purpose in football,
right?
You know, so I think that a lot of players on team sports, like I said, they grow up and you're taught to hate the uniform, to hate the logo of the other team. And that's what you're really doing, right? Like, you're going over there and you're stomping on the O. You know, it's not, I hate the quarterback. I hate Will Howard, or whatever his name is. It's, I hate the Buckeyes, right? You know, I if I'm playing Texas, I hate the Longhorn. I hate Bevo. You know, I don't hate Arch Manning, but I
but you hate them because of who you represent, right? And
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
who
yeah, the
they're
uniform.
representing.
You really hate the uniform.
The uniform that they're wearing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's where that comes from. And yeah, and my thing with the fighting is they're not really fighting.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah, yeah,
pushing
yeah.
and
So
grabbing.
it's
Yeah.
right. Like Andrew, you say, like, they're all wearing helmets, they're all wearing pads, they're pushing each other. You know, maybe you'll throw a slap in here every now and then, but like if you throw a punch, it's landing on a face mask,
And you're gonna hurt
or
yourself.
you're not fighting. Like there's no danger in any of it. It's like a baseball fight, but it ratchets up the emotion, it ratchets up the entertainment value, and you're more likely to watch Ohio State and Michigan next year than you were this year because of that fight.
Also, too, you know, man, shout out to Michigan, elite trolling. There's a picture of their special teams unit, them doing the OHIO. They're like this, and they're like spelling out Ohio as Ohio State players are crying to the cops. You know what I mean? So like it's perfect, man. This is what, you know, some people have always this is the biggest thing. People say, "Oh, I like the NFL, but I love college football. It's you know better and it's more, you know what I mean, it's cuz it's the emotion around college football games. Cuz really every week someone tweeted out, they're saying these college kids every week they're possibly playing a game that they'll remember forever. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
like Lamar Jackson isn't going to remember week 3 of, you know, 2017 week 3. You know, he's like, I probably played the Bengals. I don't know. But he'll remember beating Florida State by himself. His Heisman Trophy winning season. You know what I mean? Northern Illinois, those kids this year will always remember beating Notre Dame at Notre Dame forever. You know what I mean? That's what makes it's the emotions run high. It's rivalry week. You have been indoctrinated into saying you've been here for 4 years, and the one thing you hate the most is the crosstown rival. Arizona State, Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State. When Devin Bush was like, "Who the hell are these people talking shit to me? You're Michigan State," and he then goes on to the M on Michigan State and just like destroys the turf with his steel cleats, and then they proceed to, I think, lose to Michigan State, which was funny. But I don't, you know, which is funny, right? You did all that nonsense, then you lost before the game. It's college football, man. You know, a punch kid, you know, come on,
you know,
man.
think about the sports stripped of that emotion, right? Like nobody really likes the taunting penalties, right? Nobody likes when you try to control the way players react to what happens in game. But this is just kind of another form of that. You're trying to strip the emotion, strip the humanity of the players a bit. But I do have a question for the hashtag class guys on the screen here. How far does it extend? Okay, is it
What do you mean?
hashtag class? Is Mike Loxley right when he's upset with Penn State for scoring? Mike Loxley, the coach from Maryland.
Oh no, he's wrong. I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said, but you know, if you can't win more than 4 games, then you're wrong in whatever you say.
Yeah, they lost 44-7 to Penn State. He had a problem with it. He had some words for Coach Franklin about that essentially being classless, right? And if we're talking about sportsmanship, it absolutely is. It's absolutely classless and lacking in sportsmanship to take a team that you've already beaten badly and score again just because you can.
Well, what quarter is it in? Because like if
they scored essentially, I think it was on the maybe not as time expired, but it was at the end of the game.
Oh yeah, it is classless, but again, you know, misdemeanor. All right, like. Misdemeanor, like you didn't show any self-respect. They're not going to respect you. It is a crime, but you know, it's a misdemeanor crime in my book, right?
So
like
it's
disrespectful. You know.
I got something to say about this, man.
Okay, okay.
I used to play t-ball as a young boy, way back in the 1990s in the Stone Age, right? And we beat the hell out of this team 35-3, and they called game. I was mad because we could have beat them 50-3. if not more. Run the score up, man. Like, it's their job to stop you. And if you can put your backups in and still run the score up, more power to you. My thing is, this one girls team from high school beat some girls, like it was like 160 to 15 or something crazy like that. And the comments were going crazy. Like, I can't believe the coach would be so classless and they would allow them to run the score up. Mike Loxley, you have no room to talk, bro. You are a terrible head coach and an even worse recruiter. And I'm not even gonna say you're a worse recruiter because you have NFL talent all over the league.
I'll say that's why he got the job, because he can recruit.
And I don't understand it. It's like every year you look up somebody from Maryland is playing a significant role on an NFL roster, but yet you win 4 games, 5 games every year. You should have never moved to the Big Ten. You did it for the money. You're a basketball school, and you get destroyed every time you play Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State, any of them. And now it's going to be Oregon moving forward because they're going to run it up every time they see you. So get better at your job, which is recruiting football players and then getting those football players to be competitive on Saturdays, because whatever they call that stadium now, Bird Stadium, I ain't going there until you put together a decent team. And nobody
I don't
else
think he can do any better. And again, I don't have anything against
I have
Mike
example
Loxley,
of
man.
that.
I just don't think he.
I
I
have an
just think
example
he's
of
a
that.
better coach.
So in 2016,
hold on. We gotta wrap this up. We got 2 more cases to get to. We're not doing the 2 hours.
Oh man, we do.
So just as a
last
last word on this, class belongs in Little League. When you grow up and you're grown men, you get what you get. You don't want them playing the flag, win the game. You don't want them scoring 60 points, play some defense. That's the end of it.
I got nothing wrong with what you said, B.
I
All
agree.
right, next up, we gotta go. We gotta go super fast on these, which is okay because these are also absurd. This one, Major League Baseball discussing what they're calling the Golden Bat Rule. This is baseball versus change, because baseball does not like change. The fans don't like change, and the game hasn't changed in a very, very long time. But they're talking about, if you don't know, let me back up a second. In baseball, you set your batting order 1 to 9, and they just got to go up there when it's their turn, and they got to take their swings. And it doesn't matter the game situation. It doesn't matter if you want your best hitter out there. It's your worst hitter's turn. Okay, doesn't matter if it's the biggest at bat in the history of your franchise. Your pitcher's taking it. Okay, because that's how you filled out the lineup. They're talking about the Golden Bat Rule, where you would be able to one time just sub in whoever you want for a particular at bat. So, for example, you have your 9th hitter up, who is typically your worst hitter. Thank you, Soldier, for subscribing. It's bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. World Series Game 7, you're down 1, or it's tied or whatever. You need a hit, and your worst hitter's up. You could say, no, not today. Shohei Ohtani's coming in now. I don't like.
This is stupid.
You're like, no, on the surface of it, for me, this is a fantastic change because.
Thanks, Buck.
Thank you, Buck. I figured Buck would chime in on this one. The once every 6 months that we talk baseball on this show. Buck says, Manfred is trash. Golden Bat rule is absolutely stupid. Golden Bat Rule is what is great about sports, because you want the best in the biggest moment, right? You don't really want Steve Kerr taking the 3. You want Michael Jordan taking the last shot, right? You don't want the superstar to pass the ball. You don't want Lamar coming out of the game and you hiking the ball directly to Charlie Kolar when you need that yard. You want Lamar and Derrick Henry to handle it, because they are the superstars. I don't want to see the 9th hitter in the bottom of the 9th in a World Series Game 7 with everything on the line. I want to see the best hitter. I want to see the best that you have. I want to see Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, whoever it is, right? But how do you do this in baseball? It doesn't make any sense as to how it will logistically work.
Yeah, I see how you do it, man. You got to do what baseball does best. You got to put that on steroids. All right, you need it. It needs to be Golden Bat Rule all the time. All right, if Ohtani just hit a home run, man, get back out there, crack another one. All right. And if he gets on base, all right, next person up.
That's kind of how I feel about it, right? Like, Mookie Betts shouldn't be batting until he gets on base, or he's out, obviously. But you
got to manage his usage time, right? Because you got 100.
If Ohtani hits a solo home run, guess what? You got to pitch it to Shohei again.
Yeah.
You got to pitch it to Shohei until you can prove that you can get him out.
Yeah.
There's no strategy, Buck, in just you get to the end of the game and your worst hitter's up. That's not strategy.
By the way, his name is Adrian.
Yeah, well, this how I feel about the rule. I like it. Baseball, let's just be honest with you. It ain't America's game. It hasn't been in a long time. A lot of people couldn't tell you who won the World Series in the last 2-3 seasons.
Los Angeles Dodgers.
I mean, the Dodgers won last year. They got Ohtani, whatever. Right. He won MVP,
and he about to get Juan Soto.
He won MVP, and he didn't play a lick of defense last year. He's a glorified DH when he's not.
Yes, yeah, he is, man. That's what he is.
Still the greatest hitter in the game. But I digress. What I'm saying is, it should work like the challenge rule, to where you only have a finite amount of times that you could use it, because I think that's what makes it interesting. Like, you get 2 chances throughout the game to use the golden hitter rule or the golden bat rule. I just want to know, are they swapping spots? Like, if Ohtani's my 4 guy, and he goes down to 9, does he stay at 9 for the rest of the game, or does he
I think that's kind of what they're trying to work out, like I said, the logistics of it. I don't think that they would actually be swapping spots, moving forward. Because, I mean, realistically, you're not going to use this until the end of the game anyway, right? But, to me, and I hear what you're saying, Adrian, and I understand, like, in the context of baseball, it kind of makes more sense that way. But, like, imagine in the fourth quarter, the referee saying, no. Derrick Henry's had his allotment of carries. You give it to Justice.
Oh, you mean like what John does now?
Yeah. And y'all hate it. Y'all hate it, right? And it's like no. Lamar can't throw it on this third down. It's keeping Mitchell's turn.
All right. Put the poll out, and I know Buck's gonna want to discuss this in Overtime Show. Overtime Show is gonna be next. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. If you want to continue this argument, come over to the Overtime Show. As little as $5 a month, you can be a part of the Overtime Show.
Hashtag change if you're for the change in the rule. Hashtag baseball if you want to keep it the way your great grandfathers watched it.
My great grandfather didn't know what baseball was.
My great grandfather was in the Negro Leagues.
It's not directed at you, Ferris. Really?
No, I'm lying, but I wish you would.
Oh, okay, all right. I was like, that's a flex, my good sir, but okay, I guess not.
I was about to have Adrian do the Black History Pack next week.
Just out saying, you guys really hate baseball. I don't hate baseball. I don't enjoy it, right? I don't hate baseball. But, I mean, you got to be able to acknowledge at some point that there needs to be some upgrade to the sport. Every other sport makes changes over the years.
This is what we're talking about. Buck says you can't change the lineup. Yeah, and you used to not be able to throw the ball forward in football. And now it's 2024, and you can do that.
Yeah,
you could always.
Well, but they made a number of changes.
The forward pass came later.
But they made a number of changes in baseball.
It was rugby, yeah.
Even the extra innings rule where the guy starts out on second base.
That's stupid. That's stupid. That is dumb.
And I don't know if I like that rule at all. But
it's a horrible rule.
Instituted in the last 2 years or so, 2 or 3 years.
No, I think they're getting rid of it.
They're getting rid of it.
Yeah, they're getting rid of it. So they banned the shift.
You see what I'm saying? Like baseball fans be getting angry.
But
this suggestion.
All right. But we'll discuss this more. But this is put that comment back up. Put that comment back up. Put that comment back up from Buck.
There we go.
This right here is exactly the problem with the sport. This is exactly why I don't like baseball. This, and this ain't directed at you, but like you have too many gatekeepers like this that don't want to see change, right? Baseball is behind. It's just behind the times.
Changes be dumb.
Yeah, because they don't want to make actual changes.
Y'all
they
are
don't make major changes because they didn't look like
other hashtags in the chat and not voting. Hashtag I don't watch baseball. Hashtag who cares? Like y'all need to stop.
Move on.
Be respectful.
All right, next one. Okay, we have to speed through this. All right, because we're dangerously close to 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right.
That's not happening. Next up,
you might as well put the poll up right along with it.
This is even more ridiculous than the baseball one. NBA versus reality. If you didn't see, there's talks of the NBA kind of partnering with NBA 2K25 to add 2K25-esque visuals to live real basketball games. So they're talking specifically about the shot meter. You can see next to Steph Curry right here. Excellent, because they're measuring his form and release. So that looks like it's going to be a green release, and you see that animation over there on the basket that's going to go in. You see the players' names under their feet for some of them. You see up in the upper right corner, Deadeye. That's one of the badges in NBA 2K. They're going to be putting those on the screen as well to highlight unique abilities that players have, according to NBA 2K25. And this screenshot here, where you see like the buttons and whatnot, I don't think they're not going to be doing the buttons, obviously, but this is the kind of stupidity that you can look forward to during NBA Cup games if they have their way and are able to integrate these NBA 2K25 visuals.
Oh, okay.
I'll go real fast since I kind of gave away. This is stupid and shouldn't happen.
Thank you.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. My opinion has changed slightly from the time we hit live on this, because I was with you. I said this is stupid. This shouldn't happen, except for Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon can do what they want. I don't watch Nickelodeon.
They had the slime games for NFL. They put all those visuals and everything to make it fun for kids. If this is on Nickelodeon, do it.
But it's not on Nickelodeon. It's on everything.
If it's on TNT, this is a terrible idea. You know, when
Disney's
the Jordan
doing
cover
something
came out,
like that.
huh?
Disney's doing like a Simpsons Monday night game.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's fun. But when the Jordan cover came out, which year was that? 11?
2K11.
Yeah, 11.
2K11. I used to play that game, and my girl couldn't tell the difference between whether I was watching a game or playing a game. And every time she asked me, she's like, "Are you watching a game, or is this is this real, or are you playing your game?" And it felt good because it just reinforced how far along the game has advanced, how realistic it looked, and I love playing the game. I don't want her to ask me if I'm playing a game when I'm watching the actual game. I want my actual game to be an actual game. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to look like a video game. So it's a dumb idea. But if you're trying to draw a younger crowd in, do that on the Nickelodeon side. Don't put that on grown man TV. Okay.
Okay, I see we have another Philly troll in here who is like 45 minutes late, talking about how
late,
in what world could the Panthers beat the Eagles? Y'all lost to the Falcons. What are you talking about? Just calm your little selves down. Okay, so we have the poll up here. Hashtag 2K25 if you want your real life games looking like your video games. And then I put a hashtag keep it real for those of us, with a shred of dignity left. I just want to sit down and watch NBA basketball. I don't want to see Steph Curry shoot the ball and then, as the ball's in the air, have the screen tell me this one's going in right before it goes in.
Yeah.
And what if he misses?
Hey, Philly MM, before you get blocked by Danity, what do you? How do you feel about Jalen Hurts? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
This will let me know if you're a real Philly fan or not. Just put it in the chat. What do you think of Jalen Hurts? I like him, by the way. I just want you to know I think he's a good quarterback. But I want to know what you think.
Also too, if they do all that graphic nonsense, right, they're gonna have to put the game on delay to make sure they predict the actual shot.
It's on delay anyway.
No, well, that's a good point. That's a valid point.
But no, I mean the prediction will just be the prediction. I'm sure they'll get it wrong sometimes, but occasionally.
If they do it, I don't want to see 2K. First of all, Jose, the 2K that you mentioned was the last good 2K. 2K11. They've been trash.
I liked a few ones after that.
I feel like I've been buying the same game for 14, 15 years, just like Matt. And
wait, pause real quick. Philly MM, you've been outed. You're not a real Philly fan. You're not a real Eagles fan. People just like to hate on him because he's an Eagles player. Eagles fans do not like Jalen Hurts. Oh, okay, tell me about Sirianni. Tell me what you think about Sirianni. Then I'll really know. Okay, I'll give you another shot. How you feel about Sirianni as a coach? This will tell me everything I need to know before Danny gets you up out of here. People always love to hate on Philly from all the other lame ass fans base that haven't won anything like 20 years. Okay, I mean that's a troll. That's a troll comment. Tell me what you think about Sirianni.
Y'all haven't won anything either.
I got one
They won a
championship.
Super Bowl very recently.
Yeah, one Super Bowl. What? One? You have one.
No,
your name.
No. You can't respond to him yet. I need to know if he's a real fan or if he's just trolling. I'm getting troll vibes right now. I need to know if you're a real fan, Philly MM. All right. Tell me what you think about Nick Sirianni. Hurry up. Okay, I'm giving you 30 seconds before Danny. Is Danny still here?
Probably not.
No, probably not.
Yeah. I have to do it myself. Okay. All right. This is unanimous. Okay, we're keeping it real. Okay.
Yeah, keeping it real. This is dumb. Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say is, if they do it, I want to see NBA Jam visuals. I want to see.
Okay, Philly, you are legit. Okay, all right.
You smoking crack. You don't know anything about Philly if you think people hate on him. If you said someone like
I'm not smoking crack. You're 12. You're just 12 years old. I know plenty of Philly fans that do not like Jalen Hurts. They don't hate him like Sirianni, but they're not big fans of Jalen Hurts.
You're smoking crack.
I like Jalen Hurts, so don't look. I'm not dissing Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts. A lot of Philly fans do not like Jalen Hurts.
Nah, he's on a delay. Watch, he's gonna respond. Us talking shit about their championships in a bit. He's on delay. Watch it.
He's not gonna respond.
He's gonna come back.
Okay, all right. We got to speed this up. We got 13 minutes, B.
Okay, I mean that's it. Everyone is on the right side of history here with keeping it real. So we're gonna go ahead and take this down. That was the end of the cases for today. I feel like we should just wrap it up there, since it is very, very close to 2 hours. We should go ahead and wrap it up and get on out of here.
So you don't want to do the picks?
No, that takes a while.
Okay. Submit questions?
We didn't have any submitted questions.
All right, we'll wrap it up here then. Come over to the Overtime Show. We'll do picks for y'all. All right, come over to the Overtime Show. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. I know y'all got $5 in your pocket, man. I know you got it. Go sign up. Have a good time with us, man. Sign up to our Discord. Once you're in the Discord, you're in. Okay, whether you cancel your membership or not, we don't kick anybody out of Discord unless you're acting like Philly fan. All right, who's not even old enough to join membership because he's only 16 years old.
Yeah, and we're apparently all from soft Southern fan bases.
So come over to Overtime Show. We'll discuss whatever you want to discuss. It's open mic night. All right, lots of fun over there. Adrian, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you find me on all social media at the Sunglass Kid, DASUNGLASSKID. It's my birthday, December 4th. I shared with Jay-Z. Want to appreciate everybody for showing love today. Everybody that wished me happy birthday. Everybody that showed love. Love is free. You know what I mean? Don't cost you nothing. And I appreciate all y'all. LBHT, you know what it is, baby. We going up. I'm a man. I'm 40. Yeah.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
There you go. Ferris, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on the Let's Get Ready Network every Friday, 3 o'clock Pacific. Good Friends, Better Rivals, where we talk the other NFC East team, Giants, Cowboys. So we talk about, the horrible season both teams have been going for. Apparently the Cowboys can't do anything they want until they face the Giants. Can they run the ball? No, they can't, except on the Giants. Can they stop the run? No, they can't, except the Giants. They can stop the run. Can they get turnovers against everybody else in the NFL? No, they can't. But the Giants, yes, they can. The Giants suck. Cowboys suck. We're just sad all the time on Fridays. But we won't be having a show this Friday, though, unfortunately, because I'll be moving or relocating.
All right. Okay. All right. That is it man, this went a lot longer than we expected, but it was a great conversation. Thank you, everybody that came on. Ferris, Adrian, Coach was here earlier. Appreciate all of y'all. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Appreciate all the new subscribers, everybody that donated. Look, we said we're going to give you more content. We put 2 new videos out earlier this week. There's going to be more content coming out. Sorry we missed the live streams, the post games this last weekend. We'll do something for the Panthers after a win, right, B?
No.
Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. All right. We're out of here. If you want to hang out with us some more, go over to patreon.com/LBHT Show. Patreon members, get ready. The Overtime Show is starting right now. Everybody else, have a great night, and we will see you next time. Peace.